Hello, hello! My name is Callista, and welcome back to Dragon Age Origins. In the last episode, we defeated the Broodmother. Let's see what she had on her. Okay, money, ring of selection, plus 10 nature damage, nice. Okay, and 2 greater health pulses. I am very happy with that. Now, the last we saw Hespeth, she was knocking around back here. So we never see her again after this. And Hespeth was very insistent that she would never turn into either Larin or Branka. So my best guess is that I believe she was stood up there somewhere. I think what happened is that she probably jumped off to commit suicide before she became a broodmother. Because to be perfectly honest, that is a fate I would wish on no one. And now that Artin knows that this is what becomes of women, because I mentioned this in the last episode, she's seen ghouls, and they've always been male. She's never seen a female ghoul, and while she probably thought that was a little odd, I don't think it was ever really something that she paid much heed to, kind of like with golems. Why would she ever think that there was a dwarf inside there? She'd have no reason to think that. I think Artin maybe just thought, oh, maybe women die from the taint quicker. Maybe it's something like that. And so now that she knows that women become broodmothers, that the Darkspawn will actively capture women and assault them and force feed them all of this horrific stuff to turn them into this, I think it kind of puts Balin's betrayal in a whole new light. Admittedly, I don't think Balin knew this, but it's the idea that if Artin hadn't managed to make her way to the Grey Wardens, if instead she'd been knocked out by the Darkspawn and dragged back to their nests, she would have become this. And that makes her sick to her stomach. Now then, where do we go from here? The deep roads, we came from that way. And I don't think we can go. Yep, there's a wall, we went that way. Which means this is the way forward. Hang on a minute, before we go, was there a codex entry? Creatures. Broodmother. It is well known that Darkspawn carry off those captured in their raids to underground lairs. Most assume that the prisoners are eaten or somehow tainted and turned into Darkspawn themselves, though this could never account for the sheer numbers of the horde. Forays made by Grey Wardens into the underground have uncovered the answer. When exposed to the Darkspawn taint, men are driven mad and eventually die. Women, however, undergo great pain and gross mutations that cause most of them to perish. Those that survive, however, become the grotesque broodmothers. These giant, twisted behemoths birth many Darkspawn at a time. A single broodmother can create thousands of Darkspawn over the course of her lifetime. Each type of Darkspawn is born from a different broodmother. Humans produce Hurlocks, dwarves produce Genlocks, Elves give birth to Shrieks, and from Qunari are born the Ogres. I also think I want to talk about this section, just before we go further on. Where is it? But the true abomination is not that it occurred, but that it was allowed. So I mentioned before that Artin... How do I put this? Artin was assuming that Branka was alive, and from Hespeth's words, it seems like Branka is alive somewhere. Artin, under the assumption that Branka was still alive, Artin was going to try and persuade her that we'll leave the anvil. I know that the anvil will solve a lot of our problems in the immediate, but as a society, we are not mature enough to have that kind of power. We are in too dire a situation for that kind of, for the ability to turn people into golems to be introduced into our society. We need to leave it and potentially leave notes, you know, in the hands of people that are responsible for when Orzammar has progressed enough to the point where we won't just murder all the castless over the course of an evening, or we destroy it, as painful as that is. But what Hespeth says, that Branka allowed the women of her house to be turned into broodmothers. Artin doesn't know why. I think she would be interested in the why the hell did you do this? But I think at this stage, Artin is fully intending on killing Branka. No matter what. Just for crimes against Orzammar. Crimes against Orzammar's people. Because this is unnatural. And it isn't right. And the fact that Branka allowed this to happen, that is a death penalty. Excuse me. I'm getting passionate. I'm a bit too passionate right now. I'm kind of worked up because I love this section. This is a death penalty crime in Artin's eyes. To allowing a squadron of an army to be killed so that you can win the war, that's fine. That in and of itself is an acceptable loss because there will always be losses in war. But just giving women to the Darkspawn because that is a straight up no. Like, I think Artin is giving side eyes to Oghren like, I'm sorry man, I'm gonna kill your wife. Because this does not fly with me. Anvil of the Void, the ancient smithy of Paragon, the dwarven Paragon renowned for creating the lost art of making golems. I love the deep roads. I know so many people don't, but I can't help it. I love it so much.
Branka is anywhere. This has to be it. She will not be unprepared.
As I mentioned before, the section leading up to the Broodmother really closely mimics one of my favourite theatre styles, the theatre of cruelty. Hello.
What was that?
Let me be blunt with you. After all this time, my tolerance for social graces is fairly limited. That doesn't bother you, I hope.
Well, shave my back and call me an elf. Branka, by the stone! I barely recognized you.
Oghren. It figures you'd eventually find your way here. Hopefully you can find your way back more easily. And how shall I address you? Hired sword of the latest lordling to come looking for me? Or just the only one who didn't mind Oghren's ale breath?
Be respectful, woman. You're talking to a Grey Warden.
Ah, so an important errand boy, then. I suppose something serious has happened. Is Endrin dead? That seems most likely. He was on the old and wheezy side.
Orzammar needs a new king to defend against a blight. My father is dead. The assembly is deadlocked. Show respect. You speak of my father. How do you know I'm not just helping Oghren? Yes, his heir Balin seeks your support to become king. Ooh, Not number 4. Not number 5. And I'm inclined to go with either 2 or 3 just because it's a Dwarven Noble exclusive line. I did mention, just given that Branka is like the only Paragon for like 4 generations and Artin is a princess, I can see the pair having met at like some kind of fancy party that maybe Branka's house threw together. And don't say that like, oh, they were best friends. But, like, I imagine Artin has maybe shook Branka's hand and, just, attempted to do polite chit-chat, and then Branka just kind of had I can't be arsed with this, and, like, wandered off. So I think Artin knows Branka has always been very rude. Is rude the word I'm looking for? How do I put this? She's a genius, but social graces are not her strong suit. Yeah, rude. She is kind of rude. So I think Artin knows that. She was rude then, she's rude now. She kind of sees herself as being above that kind of thing. So I don't necessarily think that Artin would be like, don't talk about my father that way. I think there'd be like an eye twitch, but it's like, this is Branka, this is just who she is. This has always been who she is. My father is dead. The assembly is deadlocked.
You are seeking my support? You wish to succeed Endrin and become a ruling queen? I don't care if the assembly puts a drunken monkey on the throne. Because our protector, our great invention, the thing that once made our armies the envy of the world, is lost to the very dark spawn it should be fighting. The Anvil of the Void. The means by which the ancients forged their army of golems and held off the first archdemon ever to rise. It's here, so close I can taste it.
Balin would change things, move Orzammar forwards, but of course there is a catch. Sounds like you could use some help. I do find it very interesting, because Branka... It's been a while since I've done this section of Dragon Age, but I'm pretty sure that if you're just like, oh, Balin sent me here, or oh, Harrowmont sent me here, she just kind of... I think she just kind of goes straight into the, like, I don't give a shit who's on the throne. But I do find it very interesting, because I think you get the ruling... Like, that is a female Dwarven Noble exclusive, and she sounds like, oh, you want to become a ruling queen? Like, she sounds genuinely interested, like, oh yeah, I'm down for that, let's get a queen on the throne. Unfortunately, the game does not allow me to do this, sad times. Because I think, oh god, to be perfectly honest, I don't know that Artin would do that, even if that was an option. She never wanted the throne in the first place, and I think getting the throne just to spite her little brother, I don't think Artin is that malicious. Okay. Not number 3. I think Artin's kind of like, I'm gonna have to help this woman, but after seeing what happened to Larrin, and after witnessing Hespeth's suicide, presumable suicide, I don't want to offer my help to this woman. And I don't think... As Branka said, Branka doesn't care about who's on the throne. Why would she care that Balin would change things? But of course, there is a catch.
The anvil lies on the other side of a gauntlet of traps designed by Paragon himself. My people and I have given body and soul to unlocking its secrets. This is what's important. This has lasting meaning. If I succeed, the Dwarven people benefit. Kings, politics, all that is transitory. I've given up everything and would sacrifice anything to get the Anvil of the Void.
Does that include Hespeth and the others of your house? You're obsessed. That must be why Caradin locked it away. Sealed it away, excuse me. Why chase the impossible when your people need you now? So I think number 2 is a good point, but I think Artin is kind of thinking Caradin clearly locked it away because of the cost. To get a golem, you need to sacrifice a dwarf, effectively. And I think, if I'm being honest, I think Artin's probably going off the assumption that it was just the fact that, like, more golems, we need more golems, more and more of them. Who cares about volunteers? And Artin, as I said, Artin doesn't want to see history repeating itself. It's between 1 or 3. Branka Branka did do something amazing for Orzammar. If you can't remember, the reason why Branka became a Paragon is that she invented a coal that gives off no smoke when burned. She effectively, people were dying of, lung rot in the mines because they had no other way to light these tunnels. And so Branka effectively got rid of this terrible, terrible disease. And just think of all the other things she could be doing with her considerable intellect. But instead she is out here in the deep roads. She's out here in the deep roads doing these horrific, horrific things. And the reason why this is giving me so much pause is that I can't tell whether Artin is... How do I put this? Artin is very upset. Artin is very angry about what happened to the women of House Branka. And I'm trying to figure out if Artin would be like, I'll put my anger to the side if Branka will just come back and start inventing shit. Or if she'd be like, no, that will never make up for what she did, the horrors she inflicted to her own house. To her, it isn't even like she sacrificed another person's house. These were people who were sworn to defend her and protect her. And she was just like, sorry, lady, you gotta get harassed by a Darkspawn now. I'ma run away. I think, if I'm being brutally honest, I think Artin, even if Branka was like, I'll give up the Anvil of the Void, I think Artin would be like, no, you need to die. I'm not, for crimes against your own house, I am not letting you leave the deep roads alive. Does that include Hespeth and the others of your house?
Enough questions. If you wish me to get involved with this imbecilic election, I must first have the anvil. There's only one way out, Warden. Forward. Through Caridon's maze, and out to where the anvil waits.
What has this place done to you? I remember marrying a girl you could talk to for 1 minute and see her brilliance.
I am your Paragon.
Another amazing line. Yeah, and we can't go back. She sealed the way. I do think that Artin wants answers. She wants to know why Branka did this. Maybe if Branka had a good enough reason for why this had to happen. It's the fact that Hespeth said it was allowed, which implies, duplicity or something. If it was a case of I didn't know, I didn't mean for any of this to happen, it was entirely an accident. All of the women got captured, I was alone, I'm one woman, I can't fight a horde of Darkspawn by myself. That's a fair thing. It's okay, fair dues. I might still insist on your punishment for not planning ahead, but that's fair. It's the word allowed. Artin wants to know why. Artin needs to know why. How could a Paragon, the best of her people, do this? Dwarf corpse. Sorry, bud.
I needed people.
I'm gonna...
Very well. Traps. There's no way to break through except by trial and error. I sent them in. They were all mine, pledged to be my house, and they didn't want to help. They tried to leave me, even my Hespeth. But even she couldn't understand that when you reach for greatness, there are sacrifices, as many sacrifices as are needed.
So what I'm getting from this, they make it to the anvil. It's a gauntlet of traps. Branka's let's keep moving forward. And her house at this point is hell no. This is crazy. Clearly, Karadin locked this away for a reason. Karadin was a Paragon too. So we also need to respect his word, and if he deemed that the anvil never see the light of day again, they're underground, the light of lava again, then we should respect that. And instead, Branka was like, no, I'm your Paragon, you will do as I say. Oh, so much stuff to loot, and so many Darkspawn. I'll get to them in a minute. There we go. Hey!
I will not fall.
Oh, flipping heck. You, kick him. And sweep. Okay, you. There we go. The Alpha. You can get crippled. Come on, take him out. Kick him. There we go.
As you said.
Flurry.
She was pledged to me. She swore she'd do whatever it took to find the anvil. There was no other choice. Most of them were dying of the taint already. But some of the women were transforming. I knew what they would become. There would be an endless supply, fresh dark spawn to test the traps. They could still serve me, let me find the anvil. It was the only way.
Okay. Next part of the story. They want to leave. Branka says no, so they try and leave. They fail. If I'm reading this right, they try and leave. They fail to leave. They return. Most of them are tainted. And rather than putting these women, Branka's very clever woman. She's already like, brood mothers are clearly tainted women. And rather than putting them out of their misery, she allows these women who were sworn to her, one of whom was her own lover. She allows them to become brood mothers so that they can spawn in more darkspawn, so that the darkspawn can then run the gauntlet, which is insanely stupid. How is a darkspawn gonna figure out a gauntlet? They're all stupid, except for the emissaries. But the emissaries probably aren't going to want to do that. The emissaries are going to want to go find the archdemon. Yeah, Branka has to die. In Artin's mind, Branka has to die no matter what. She will apologize deeply to Qwinn, but she's got to go. She's got to go. If this is what Orzammar has to kind of say, this is the best of us. This is... Who the fuck did this? You! Okay. Everyone, go. Would you like to do stuff? Go after them. Qwinn, if you could heal me, that would be appreciated. What was I saying? I want to just finish my thought. Yeah, so if Branka is what Orzammar is putting forward as the best of their people, they don't need that. Orzammar can live without her. There we go. Artin, where is that emissary? Everyone on the emissary, please. Take it out. There we go. You next. Pick him. There we go. Now you. Oh, there goes the trap. Whoops. There aren't any more over there. There aren't. Okay. Everyone head back over there because I want to know if Branka has more stuff to
I
say.
have no idea how they carried on, holding my hand and begging to die. They had pledged me their
I am yours
loyalty.
to command.
They had no right to fight me. They say your order is renowned for its wits as well as its brawn. Perhaps you'll do better than my poor clansmen. There's something about this place. It makes people despair.
Yeah, I think the thing that makes people despair is you, Branka. I think that is entirely you. That line. They were holding my hand, begging me to die. They had no right. Ooh. That alone. It's like the cherry on top of a really shitty cake. That's the best way I can describe it. It's just like, oh no, madam. Madam, no, you are gonna be ended. Okay, Ogre. Whoa, dear. Qwinn. If you could possibly fist this thing, that'd be great. Thank you. I think it dropped me. It did! Whoa, damn, Ogren. You killed that thing quick. You. Who else? Riposte.
By my ancestors!
There's one over here. I mean, if you wanted to shoot up there at Branka, that'd be great. You could, you know.
Yes.
Okay. I think that was all Branka had to say. Damn. Yeah, I think as Artin loathes Branka on so many levels as someone who loves her people and believes that the Paragons should be the best of them, as, you know, a princess, as someone who has a large amount of sway over her, well, had a large amount of sway over her house, just to be like, yeah, you can die. You're holding my hand and crying and begging me to die. No, you can have a fate worse than death. And I think, especially as a commander, the idea that you would willingly let men and women in your company go through this. Because, like I said, I think Artin has had to deal with, you know, people getting blighted and the idea of that, you know, we kill them to be merciful so that they don't go through this horrific procedure. And the fact that Branka just allowed that, it makes her blood boil. Okay, what do you have? Thank you. And then you. Now you. Flurry. Riposte.
Of course.
Okay, oh, we're seeing golems. How many golems? 4? I didn't notice the ones over here. Damn, that's weird. I wonder if... Because if the golems were stationed in here by Paragon to prevent people from coming down, like this is the first test of the gauntlet, can you get past the golems? Paragon clearly did not want this thing being used. And I very quickly... Ooh. Okay, they're pretty decent. I love this. I love this so much. The veins of lyrium. I think they're so beautiful. Ooh. Okay. Thank you for the save there, game. I've got like a minute left on my recording. It's only a minute. Oh, you know what? Screw it. Okay. Gas valves.
Enemy ahead.
There we go. Excuse me.
Yes.
And last one. There we go. Please, please tell me that was all of the valves. Please. There we go. Okay. There we go. Oh, another one's up. Riposte. Kick him. You probably hurt your foot though. Whoop, de-doo. Flurry. Are you gonna quake? Yep, I'll wait. Oh damn! Oberon went down. I didn't even notice. There we go. Is that all of them? It is. Okay.
It will be done.
You.
As you say.
Thank you for the money. Ooh, heavy plate armor. Okay, is that it? That appears to be it. And we can't go through those doors. No, we can't. Okay, so I am just about out of time for this episode. In the next, we will continue on with the gauntlet. But until then, please remember to like if you enjoyed, leave a comment below. And if you wanted to subscribe, it would be very much appreciated. I've been Callista. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next episode.